Hello everybody, my name is Xanity109, and you'll never guess what I actually did for once. I built an interior. I don't do interiors very well. I never do interiors, but I did one. But before we begin the tour of today's build, please like and subscribe, because that'll show me that you want to see more content, and that what I'm doing is, hopefully it's actually good. I'm really trying my best here. I'm not very good at video editing or any of that stuff. So hopefully you like what you see. But yeah, so let me explain a little bit about today's build first. The build that I'm in right now is a tower base that I built in an old Pocket Edition world a long time ago that I call the Citadel. It's based around one central tower with sort of a little courtyard with some walls that aren't there's not much behind those walls. But this is the Citadel. And the imagination, or the idea that I had for the interior, was sort of an explorer's guild. A place where different people exploring across the world can come and kind of share their findings, share the loot that they found, and sort of explore some of the more obscure mysteries of Minecraft, like what the purpose behind all the structures you find in the world are, how come there's no other players, and all of that stuff. So I spent a long time pre-planning this in a creative copy of the world, and a long time building it, and there were so many blocks. I think I took about 10 shulkers of materials. Yeah, and keep watching the video. Keep watching, because there's a little surprise inside where I have a trivia question for you, and if you get it right, I'm going to put your name in a book and quill and stick it inside the build. So without further ado, let's start looking at the Citadel's main interior. Our first floor of the Citadel acts as a lounge and just a general area for people who are coming here to just kind of hang out and chit chat. It's sort of just a general leisure and meeting area. Over here we've got a little fireplace for weary travelers to warm themselves by the fire and just sit and chit chat with the comfy chairs and the rug on the floor. I use string and a stair here to stop the campfire from producing smoke, because in Bedrock Edition it works weird like that for some reason, and dead leaves here with the pile of logs to kind of look like chunks of bark or sawdust that have come off the logs as they're throwing them into the fire. Over here we've just got sort of a little drink stand where weary travelers and explorers can come and, get refreshments and kind of top themselves up. Over here there's just a little seating area, just a little alcove for maybe some more quieted and more serious talks, as well as a little shrine here. If you can, this is one of the 2 trivia questions I had. This little shrine, if you know what this is kind of hinting at from a popular Minecraft series on YouTube, put it in the comments, let me know. As well, part 2 from the same series is right here. I built an armor stand statue based on one of the characters' skins from the series. So if you know who this is and what series it is, comment down below, and I'll put your name in a book and quill in the Citadel here. This area is just another little quiet, reserved seating area. And we also have a fish tank full of tropical fish down here on the floor. One last interesting thing to note, this rug is the exact same rug that I've built on the floor of my storage building. So just a little cross-world kind of representation of that. And moving on up the stairs to the second floor, we have the conference room. Got a painting on the wall, as well as a large conference table that can seat 8 people, as well as some papers and documents placed around the table. This serves as sort of an area where they can put documents or items that they want to discuss in these shelves so that they can just glance at it and remember. And over here we've got a clever little trick I picked up from a YouTuber called Good Times with Scar, where he uses a calibrated sculk sensor underneath a carpet block to create sort of a blinking light. This is supposed to be like just a communications device. It doesn't actually work. But the fish in the fish tank keep it constantly blinking with the sculk sensor. We've got some document storage here, as well as just a little grandfather clock on the side, because what build doesn't need a grandfather clock? This area here serves as an entranceway into the gatehouse of the Citadel, so you can look out at the the castle and the city of Einheit out over there, as well as the banner. I want to talk about this banner really quickly. This is the banner I made for the Explorers Guild. The Citadel itself has its own banner, but the Explorers Guild and the members have this own banner for themselves, sort of like an ID card of sorts. Then moving up to the third floor, we have our first actual laboratory floor, with this first area studying the ancient city. We've got the music disc and the recovery compass, echo shards, and all of the different sculk blocks here as they're sort of looking at them, observing them, trying to figure out how they work and just studying them. As well as this, which is an actual piece of a structure that spawns in the ancient city, sort of a small statue of the warden's head that they're observing. This desk right here has different loot from the ancient city, and the reason I put the shelves here on the desk instead of on the wall is it kind of divides it, so you can have a person working over here and a person working on this side. There's 3 desks here. This middle one just has sort of a computer frame almost, and I'm using brewing stands to represent microscopes, so that's what those are. Now, the ancient cities, there's a lot of sculk displayed, so they're studying the sculk. But the ancient cities also have soul torches and lanterns. So this is a little area devoted to studying the soul fire, with nether wart and soul sand over here, because that's what the fire is lit on, as well as the items there in an item. There are books and just another little to represent a computer frame here. This is supposed to be, I imagine this copper is like a vent hood to suck up the fumes that would, or the souls that would be in the soul fire. And this is meant to be a little machine to contain and study the soul fire. Then, since, you know, these kind of lead one into each other, the ancient city to the soul fire, to the soul sand, to the ghast. I decided to study the ghast here because it spawns in the soul sand valley. So there's just a little desk here with various items for the ghast, as well as just a little couch for different people to kind of sit on and discuss things. A little bit more of a laid-back meeting spot. Then, moving on up to the 4th floor, we're studying 3 main things on this floor. First is the pillagers. We've got a map of the woodland mansion here, as well as a dark oak sapling and a mushroom, because those are the trees and stuff that are found in that biome. We're also studying the crossbow that the pillagers use, and we've got a pillager banner on display. This desk has different Bad Omen bottle, raid horn, and the different armor trims related to the pillagers and evokers over here. Over here, we've just got a little storage pile for different artifacts, and just a kind of another lounge area for people to sit and discuss things. This desk is devoted to studying the ocean monuments and the conduits and various things related to the ocean, as well as this little sink over here with a piece of coral, and this desk with a conduit and a painting of what I like to imagine is a shipwreck. I know it's not, but pixelated, this kind of looks like the front of the ship, and you move to the back, which is like the captain's quarters right here. It just looks an awful lot like a Minecraft shipwreck, but without the masts. And last but not least, this desk here is devoted to studying the trial chambers with a lot of blocks, items, and even very rare things. Yeah, I'm rich, I'm gonna flaunt it. I've got 3 more of them in my ender chest. Yeah, this is devoted to studying the trial chambers. And, you know, painting on the wall, just to spice some things up. Moving on up to the 5th floor, we have a little table area here with some glasses, a plate, a lamp, just for people to sit and talk at, and an empty study shelf over here, leaving room for more things that could be added in future Minecraft updates. However, the main purpose of this floor is the archaeology system in Minecraft, with gravel and sand here meant to represent the suspicious variants, which you can't obtain without like glitches or anything in survival, and another little brush area over here for them to do their work. This is supposed to represent like a desert temple and a desert well, just because there's archaeology there. And then we've got crafters here because this texture on the side looks like a handle for like a cabinet door. So we've got a little workstation here with loot from the trail ruins, which I feel like are a really forgotten structure in Minecraft. Whatever happened to those? We don't really ever talk about those. And then just some bookshelves for general study up here. And then, just because it's kind of an oddity, I threw a table in here researching the kriging and resin, because it's kind of weird if you think about it. Like, there's nothing else in Minecraft like that, so we're studying that over here. And moving on up to the 6th and final floor, we have a room devoted to studying the end dimension. We got the dragon head and most of the items that can be found in the end, because let's be honest with ourselves, there's not very many. Can we get an end update, please, Mojang? As well as a map of my end island. We've got a little enchanting area here just for some book storage, where they can, keep documents and consult stuff. And this is supposed to be like a cork board or a bulletin board here with questions. What is an ender pearl? Eye of Ender and the end crystal, because ender pearls make Eye of Ender and those are used to make end crystals. There's weird correlation between all of this stuff. We're also studying a chorus flower here, and this is just a general work desk with a shulker box, because who knows, whoever was working here might be studying the shulkers. This desk over here has the banner found in the end cities, plus this armor trim found there, and a book in a glass case. We've also got an elytra on display that somebody's studying, and it looks like this because that's the cape on my Minecraft skin is the copper cape, and whenever you put an elytra on over a cape, it sort of just adopts the texture of the cape. I don't know why the armor stand looks like that though. That might just be a glitch because it's, we are on Bedrock, but it looks kind of cool actually, so I'll allow it. Then this table has a sort of a laser that I built. It doesn't actually work, there's no lasers in Minecraft. But it's got a laser that's kind of drilling into a piece of crying obsidian. Because I like to imagine they took a chunk of obsidian from the end pillars and are trying to break it with this laser, and that's why it's got all these purple cracks. Which, strangely enough, those purple cracks in it look a lot sort of like the dragon's breath particles and like the eyes of the ender dragon that you find in the end. It's weird. Obsidian. I've never thought about that before. Live on recording this, I just came up with that. So, mind is blown, guys. And then the last thing that's really here is this ladder, which takes you up to the top of the tower, the main tower of the Citadel, where instead of just capping off the mangrove roof, I made the inside of the roof sort of a dome made out of amethyst. The outside doesn't look like that, which I'll show you in a sec, but there's sort of half of an amethyst geode here. Because the outside looks like this. It's red, mangrove, but I like that. I think it just adds a touch of flair to this roof. But, with that being said, guys, this has been the Citadel interior. I'm really happy with this. This is probably the best interior I think I've ever built in Minecraft. And if you like more, want to see me keep building up this world, please make sure to like and subscribe. And again, with what we talked about earlier, comment down below if you know any of those references on the first floor. I'll put your name in a book and quill and stash it somewhere in the Citadel. Somewhere. But, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.